My name is Niko. I'm the founder of Tech Open Air Berlin. That's a two-day festival, technology festival here in Berlin, as well as of Openers, a co-founder of Openers, which is an agency where we help startups from abroad that want to come here to Germany, as well as Ahoy Berlin, which is a co-working space, and lastly Tech Berlin, which is a platform for the Berlin startup ecosystem. So the definition of turning point, I guess, is a point in time where you reflect on what you are doing or what you have been doing and decide to change course and maybe do something differently. So turning points, I think I had, a few in my professional career. One major one was to come to Berlin after I had a job where I was working in the developing world, and then it was sort of, quasi-settling in Berlin and actually being in one place and working in a family business. And a very related turning point to that was leaving the family business to start something new and sort of venture down the path of a startup entrepreneur. I guess professionally, it was someone called Martin Wazowski, among others, who was blogging about the startup ecosystem. And while I was traveling in developing countries, I would read those blogs, and this is kind of how my whole interest in technology actually evolved, because at that point I was working in a different field. We were writing country economic reports and editorials on developing markets, and I was starting to write a blog, which was more like a travel blog. It was called Homo Viator, and it was a travel blog about my experiences in these developing markets. And in order to find out more about blogging and how blogging worked, I would read these tech blogs, because those were actually the only blogs out there at that point. There weren't so many fashion or travel or food blogs. So in order to learn more about blogging, you kind of had to read tech and startup blogs, and one of those blogs was by Martin Wazowski, and it was one that I read a lot and where I learned a lot about the startup ecosystem. I later actually ended up working with him, and we became friends, and we're friends ever since. And I think, in the sense of going down the startup path, he definitely had a significant impact. I guess the turning point in my childhood was when I went abroad at a young age, at 16. I went to school in the US, and I actually really didn't like it. It was very hard sort of to integrate at that point in time for whatever reasons, but I didn't really have such a good experience. So when I came back, I thought that I would actually stay in Germany. Like, I had missed my friends so much. Also, we were this really tight group of friends in Munich at that point, a pretty big group and really tight. We would do everything together, like every single day, hang out, go skateboarding and stuff. And then I was there in the US, and it was really difficult to connect with others. So I came back and I thought, well, most likely I'll just stay in Germany and study here and make my life here. But then I think this experience in the US actually had installed something in me without even knowing, because I had the urge to leave again. So I came back, I stayed for 2 years, but then left and went to England. Another interesting question. Wow, I didn't prepare for any of those. A turning point, I don't know. My mom used to be a fashion editor actually all her life. So I would say that I was kind of like a hipster child when I grew up. Not like overly crazy, but like I sort of had ripped jeans and sort of chucks, and I remember like having like an Indian leather jacket, which I was really proud of. But I don't know. To be honest, I think a turning point was probably a conversation I had with my dad one day, and he told me, he said, Niko, if you ever like want to be a successful businessman, you should find like one thing to wear and like basically wear it all the time. And then he quoted Steve Jobs and so many others who basically, Mark Zuckerberg also actually, who always wear the same thing practically, right? And so I guess to some degree I do that. Like I wear this t-shirt, like I have, I don't know, dozens of these white same t-shirts, so that's the t-shirt I wear. And I like wearing like hoodies and a jacket and jeans and sneakers, and as you have noticed, sort of colorful jogs that don't match, so I don't put the socks together actually. I just take them from the dryer, just throw them in there, and then I grab two. I never understood the concept really of like why both socks have to look the same. Yeah. Wow, there have been a few I think that had a big effect on me. I would say Latin America as a sort of as a continent, which I completely fell in love with, and where I learned Spanish and where I just had a phenomenal time, and that opened me to so many new things and flavors of life. So I think that has had a very big effect on me. I think like Latin America was the first time I've been traveling also before quite a bit, and I've always been sort of interested in foreign cultures, and was very grateful and lucky, I guess, to also have travel crazy parents and to do a lot of trips to faraway countries when I was younger. But I think when I was in Latin America for the first time, I actually felt that living there could be an option. Like that was a place where I thought it is completely different to what I know and to what I've been used to and what I grew up in. But I could totally live there and sort of start a new life there and live in a completely different culture to mine. And I think I'm still very inclined to do that at one point in the future. My advice, oh gosh. I think it's really important to know what you want to change. So kind of be a little bit pragmatic, because often we may feel that we want some change in our life, but we are maybe unclear what exactly we want changed. And often people probably think it's A, but actually it may be B, that they really want to change. So I think it needs a lot of introspection before, and reflection, and thinking about what it is that you want to change. And once you have identified it, um, I guess it's important to see what you want to change that with. So what is sort of the new substitute coming into your life? Where do you want to change to? And here I think the most important is to follow your heart and follow your interest, follow your passion, and basically do what really fulfills you and makes you happy, because in the end that's the most important thing, right? And this is not easy, because there may be a lot of things that you think make you happy. So it often takes some time to really identify also what that key thing is.